now I'm going to destroy him.
No, guys, don't destroy each other.
No. I get it sometimes. Many times you have to say, you know what? Let's battle this. Let's see who destroys each other. If he had a talent, he would have been able to manage his finances and his life. He would have been somewhere in life.
Gabs to the B-Dub, Africa, the rest of the world. What's going on? And welcome to another episode of the brand new year of the Juice 2.0. I appreciate you so much for tuning in. You're an amazing returning subscriber. You are such a star. If you haven't subscribed, I don't know what you're doing, man. What are you waiting for? Click subscribe. Let the family grow. Brand new year 2025, first episode. And we're coming to you all the way from the same place that we've been recording at, iconic barbershop right here in the airport junction. Come over here, get your hair cut, get your hair done opposite F&B next to the casino. And we had to start with a bang. I'm calling myself Triple B, beautifully black and back with a bang. Okay, those are 4 Bs, but you get the point. We're back, baby. We're back, and I appreciate you so much. We had to start with a bang, and there's no name that says a bang more than this gentleman who we're sitting with here today for a conversation. He's a criminal justice expert. He's also a fraud expert, examiner, certified fraud examiner, and he's definitely one of your social justice advocates. Without saying much, ladies and gentlemen, I need you to put your hands together for Setlhomo Raymond Tshwanelang. How you doing, brother?
Hey.
Yeah, I need your energies to be high.
Thank you for having me today.
Yeah.
TKay, your fans and your followers and viewers at home and overseas, or wherever they are, and the gentlemen that are supporting your podcast. I feel privileged to be your first guest for the year 2025.
Yeah.
I hope I'll be the first of many.
For sure. How you doing? Happy New Year. How's the New Year coming up?
I'm keeping well. New Year's coming up good. Lots of rain, lots of good people to see. Yeah. And lots of promises to see this year and lots of positive changes.
I love that. How did you spend your New Year's Eve, man? What mischief did you get up?
Well, I was burying my son, and so that's the most. I'd say I spend part of my New Year around that. So I did not enjoy or celebrate New Year Eve or New Year's Day as I would have with maybe Christmas or Christmas Eve. But those are the ups and downs of life. So
my deepest condolences, man. His name was Seth.
Yes, Seth.
What happened to Seth? Are you at liberty to say what happened?
I wouldn't say much, but just that they were not well throughout. But yeah.
I'm sorry about that. Losing a son is terrible. Losing a kid is terrible. Have you healed? That doesn't.
No, I'm still going through just that healing of grief. It's not a stage. It's quite a process, a very long one.
Right.
I think I'm about to start a therapy with the baby mama next week. Because I love to take my time to heal. But so far, I'd say that I'm in a good headspace. I'm taking each day as it comes. But however, that does not mean that I have to bury my head on the sand or cry all day. Or no. It means that I have to go on with life and accept that it has happened. I mean, healing or grief has 7 stages. So I believe that I'm now on maybe stage 2. Because 1, you have to also accept and the denial and everything. So I think I'm going through all the steps. Right.
Man, well, condolences to you and your family. Was he your only child, Seth?
Yes, my firstborn.
And his mother is your current woman right now?
Yes.
Oh, beautiful. How old was Seth?
2 months.
Oh, no. Oh, I'm so sorry about that.
No problem.
Yes. Oh, my goodness. Very young, right? But anyway, like you said, healing is a process, and I wish you a deep healing process. I almost said a quick recovery, but you know what? As long as it takes for you, please heal. We want the best version of yourself, and may his memory always stay with you, for real. You know what I mean?
Thank you. I'll definitely even have a tattoo. I'm thinking of a tattoo.
Yeah, I saw your status the other time. So what he said is that you've never really believed in tattoos and or piercings, right? But because of your son, you're about to get a new tattoo with his name on it.
It's a life-changing memory. So
why not tattoos in the past? Why have you been adverse?
As you might be aware, TKay, we are raised in conservative families,
sure,
Botswana,
for
hela generally.
Yeah.
So even the Bible and every other thing. So you are raised to conform to some standards. So I was raised to conform to those who never really cherished tattoos. They were seen as people who are quite outcasts, or convicts or criminals, or like they have never been a thing in especially, I wouldn't say our culture because the culture is diverse, but where I come from, it is a quite a conservative community. So it was never really a thing where when I grew up.
Of course.
And therefore I inherited that, and I never thought I would definitely change my mind someday. But now that I'm old, I've explored the world, and my belief systems are bound to change, including perspective.
Lovely. What other perspectives do you think are changing as you get older? There's a tattoo thing, but is there something else that you notice that, you know what? I used to hold this, but now I'm changing my hold on it?
Well, most of our perspective in Botswana are rooted around Christianity.
For sure.
Or the Bible.
Yeah.
And even the culture of Botswana, that is freedom of expression, including, I'd say, also sexuality and acceptance of people of, different sexual orientation or sexual preferences.
Right.
And entertainment-wise, and belief system as well. Many people would then choose their own belief system or type of music, and many things do, even the way people dress, how they talk, many things, just because also it's not about as a person grows up, it's societies that they grow up in, like from home village to the university or Gaborone. You definitely somehow adopt a cultural lifestyle here. You then move to a different country, as I did. Then also there is a bit of exposure to different cultures and different beliefs and denominations.
For sure.
So those are some of the things that would a person maybe adopt. If people said no sex before marriage, they might have it. If people thought, I'd only have one partner with the family, they might have multiple partners. If they say they would never smoke, they might find themselves smoking. Like I've seen people who I never thought they would smoke.
And
smoking.
They're smoking now,
So
life changes, really.
Yeah, life changes for every other person.
How do you feel about monogamy versus polygamy? Where do you stand there, huh? Are you a monogamist or a polygamist? My man, make me proud. Make me proud.
Well, I think sorry about that. I think I'll go for monogamy.
Monogamy, huh?
Yeah. Even though, of course, any other person would fantasize about polygamy. Just that I always weigh the pros and cons. As you get older, I think coming home to one person, sharing your forever moments with them, it's always ideal. We live in a very expensive society. Rough. So if women, they don't come cheap. Like you gotta...
At least the best ones.
Yeah, the best ones.
The best ones,
They would always say, okay, let's do these and let's invest. Or even to invest on her. It's something that would strain and drain you. Even if they are working on other things, for me, I feel like, you know what, sometimes you get busy with the world such that having one person is ideal. You can balance two people. And also conflicts, when intimate conflicts are worse than, let's say, any other society. Because those one can get hectic. Like today I was arguing with my baby mama over something, and even now...
What did you do? What did you do, Steez? I know it's you. I know it's you.
It was, I think the bathroom is blocked or something like that. So I did tell her that I noticed that in the morning, because I was away last night traveling.
Right.
I noticed that the bathroom is blocked. And then she kept, you need to do this and that. I said, I've done all the ABC
and it's still not working.
Stuff, and it's still not working. Right. No, you need to try. I said, but I have been trying for the last 8 hours. So I think with the women is that they soften you as a person. They are quite stubborn. Like it's them first until they have exhausted the options. That's when you can come in. And yeah, they make you feel like you're a child.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I have my fair share, so I know all about that. So do you still have a Stacy crush? Is it still there? Are you still crushing on Stacy, the beautiful Stacy? Because I've listened to almost all your interviews, man. You have had a huge crush on Stacy. Oh, no offense to your baby mama, by the way.
Yeah, no, crush is just. I mean, she's quite mature.
Right.
I know other people would think it's a disrespect.
Right.
I mean, she might have a celebrity crush too. I don't take an offense from that.
Right.
Of course, if it's not an obsession, I think Stacy, she's one of the most beautiful young Botswana women. Very, very, very beautiful, and quite decent. You know, I like one thing that I like someone with a class, with a taste. Yeah. So she's still my crush, I'd say.
Pretty much. Someone else, I want to ask you if you have a crush on her, because what you did, my good friend, is that you riled up the social media and B-Dub through your Facebook post when you posted a picture, quote unquote, I've just bumped into Sethunya Delia, right? And everybody in the comments is like, all right, bumped into her. Nope, cancel that. Have a crush on her? Yeah, we take it on that. So the question is, Stacey, you got a crush on Sethunya too? I wouldn't blame you.
Botswana women are beautiful. Yeah. But the problem is that how many women can I have a crush on? Just that I think our society, we love to sexualize any relation that might exist between a man and a woman.
Right.
Some might have thought, oh, you know what, you might try your luck or whatever. But I didn't see it that from that perspective. Yeah. I think I'm a huge fan of many women in my country, from Kakisosen,
Declerk.
And others. I love women who stand out. I love women who are trying to change their life and anything. Yeah. So I love to support them. I love to give them something to, like, even where I buy my lunch, it's usually I love to support women's stores. I believe that those are quite marginalized or oppressed simply because they are not empowered enough. When you speak of GBV, which is something that is terrorizing our community right now, you look at that most victims are financially, economically, morally, and any other socio-dynamics, they are oppressed. So I often than not try to, like, I wouldn't say that I've bumped into you, but more than likely I'd say I bumped into a woman. I always feel like a man, even though some people always say that we are always saying we are supporting a girl child, but little is being done about a boy child. But
for sure,
that is why I think I often than not try to support women as much as I can.
Where is that picture, man? I even had to save it at some point. Yes. You and Sethunya sitting at Park 27 over there. Was that your first time meeting her?
Yes. It was, I've always been a huge fan of hers from social media.
Yeah. So what do you think? What do you make of what happened in her life at some point last year? I'm sure you saw all the social media comments about her life, her personal life, apparent divorce, this and that. Having known her possibly on social media, what were some of your initial thoughts and feelings?
I think even I did pass my sincere comfort to her.
Yeah. Of course.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, definitely. Definitely, because I think our society is quite harsh on women.
Yeah.
Especially young women who are going through divorce, as she's, I think, about to complete the process of divorce.
Right.
To me, like, young people have to fall in love, have to fall out of love. It's quite a normal thing. So many people, you can tell, even from social media, they loved, because even myself, the first thing that I knew about her was Monyadi, as in the perspective that that's how I would say that she became a little bit famous, or because of the wedding thing. So her identity revolved around the marriage thing, so that when people see her, that's the first thing that comes to their mind. So Botswana, when you build your image around marriage, they would never think that it can end. They would always, even when it ends, let's say peacefully, they would bring all sorts of accusations and allegations. They might say that a woman is promiscuous. They might say a man is cheating and every other thing. People don't realize that we can outgrow each other. and then set our lives on a different cause and missions, and maybe eventually we might even reunite and remarry. We never know what fate has for all of us.
It looks like we're not really open to the possibilities of life, right?
No, we are not. I think we still believe in till death do us part. So we don't believe that. I think also that is because we are a Christian-dominated society,
for sure.
And the Bible does not always celebrate divorce, and we don't see it as an option. We haven't normalized it. Even when the marriage is working, like today, that are not working. Today, there are many people who are stuck in abusive marriages that are filled with promiscuity and other things. But they are not afraid. They're afraid of taking a stand. Even your family today, if you say, you know what, me and my wife are no longer clicking or whatever, they would just say, stick on for the sake of kids, for the sake of that and that, for how, those are the things that then makes us not wanting, not that we take pride in things that has failed in life, but if something doesn't work out, now I always believe that people have to walk out peacefully. And if we can normalize breakup, divorce, I believe that those things would lead to fewer conflicts. Fewer conflicts, then we would see gender-based violence going down, because people would know that if my marriage or my relationship isn't working, I can walk out.
You can always walk away.
And without harming another person, without emotionally or physically or mentally abusing another person. So we need to teach a young girl, a young boy, that if things don't work out, you're always free to leave. Like I once attended some marriage some years ago, and the gentleman there, or the father to the lady, said that if the marriage is not working, she's welcome back. Wow. We need to tell our kids, even we need to tell our kids,
you can always go back,
go home and recollect your thoughts, and then come back again and try. Because sometimes when things fail, your perspective even change. You get overwhelmed. But if you take a step back, then you can watch things from a different environment with a clear perspective. So that's something that we should always tell people. And also that failure is part of life.
For sure. Would you get married? Is Steezy Weezy ever going to get married?
Definitely. I think I was hoping to get married this year or next year.
See, that's what I'm talking about. So maybe this year or next year?
Yeah, definitely.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's great. So all these divorce stories that are going around and the stats when they're released, nothing ever really moves you or pushes you away from the idea of getting married and that level of commitment.
Yes, my idea of marriage is not based on people's idea of marriage.
I like that.
Mine is quite unique. Like the other day, I think last week I was talking to my baby mama, but the type of wedding that I would want, and she seemed to agree with that. Because I told her that I want this African one mixed with a white wedding on the same day. Just a small thing, family-based. I don't want big things. I don't like doing things for the society. I want to do it within my means, within my budget, within our means, not
for
my
sure.
Budget. And
I like that you're inclusive.
So that way I'm in control. What happens? People marry out of pressure. People marry out of, if I'm working at this organization, then I would qualify maybe for a house on my own, or for this and that and that. People marry for the sake of. They don't marry out of heart. And for me, I believe that I've made my mind that, you know what, I think I'm now at that age whereby I want to marry. I believe that most men need to be conditioned or need to be taught who would stand up and say, you know what, I want to marry my fiance or my woman. Not pressure because it seems like, I don't know, or the society or something. So I believe that when a marriage comes from the man's point, it often works than when it comes from a woman's point. A man would literally take onto the vows to themselves. So if it comes from a man, And I mean, even proposal, if a woman proposes a man, that man might just cheat and everything. But if it's a man, you know that you have something to pursue. Women love to be pursued. Women love to be pampered and everything, just to be convinced, why me of all other dudes. So I believe that there needs to be a bit of mindset change in terms of how men view marriage and even our society. So the divorce in itself, or the divorce statistics and any other things, cheating and those, they do not disturb me.
So that level of commitment for a lot of people is scary. For a lot of men, it's scary for one reason or the other, you know? So why her? Why are you having this thinking that, you know what, she's the one? What are some of the attributes that you've seen in her that have made you, you know, made the decision to want to get married?
Well, when we started dating, I think I was completing my master's.
Okay.
Broke, penniless. So she has seen me through all the phases of life.
Yeah.
And I've seen
and
her
now you're
through all the
bowling.
phases of life.
Now you're bowling.
Yeah. So not yet there, but just that, you know, I've grown a bit older with her or mature with her.
Right.
And I've met other people before.
Right.
And they did not have much of attributes that, or even if they had, maybe they did not align with mine. The view of the world, I think we align in many things. So that is why eventually feel like I have met my soulmate.
Okay.
Why not marry? Even if it's someday things don't work or I die or whatever, but at least I would have lived to my ideals. Because sometimes when you see something that is value adding, then you have to go for it. So that is why I think I chose her. I've been with many other women before her. I've dated from here, Ireland, the UK, everywhere. I've had a fair share of my...
Dude, how many exes do you have? Like more than 10?
I think 10 is small. I don't know.
Like actual relationships?
Well, a mixture of any other thing, short-term,
long-term, situationships.
Yes, and then
all right.
these days they even have something called Sneaky Link, my 2000.
Right.
So yeah.
Hey, it was happening in Dublin, eh?
Yeah, so I've had quite a lot. I can't recall, but the number is quite scary.
No, but you know what you said about a woman having been there when you had nothing? That's a very important point. Because when you marry a person who is just coming in and you're good, you don't really know if they're there for the money and the property and stuff.
Yes, actually there's a book that I was reading earlier, I think yesterday.
Yeah.
Some people marry or they come into your life, not of who you are, but what you are or what you have.
Jesus.
So many people tend to fall in love. Let's say today you've been struggling all your life.
Yeah.
And then an opportunity comes and you dump that woman. You go for someone who sees what you have now. And then when that thing goes away,
they too are gone.
That love, because that love was conditioned or attached to what you have. Mine was never attached, or hers to me wasn't. Not that also, because some people might say, oh, maybe it's out of pity. No, it's not out of pity. I feel like I've achieved the little thanks to her contribution. I have been able to be shaped thanks to her vision and her ideals of the world. Those have also contributed to the man that I feel I am.
Right.
So often than not, most of us Botswana men, we have this thing of you'd go through the process of life with a woman, and then wa motogela wa go dibedi tsa ga borone, or sometimes a go nna le ngwana le ene ha tshwentse la tswalla ka botshelo go ngwa le pregnant kana after the child is born wa motogela wa go mafotining le dibedi tsa ga borone. Most Botswana men, I think some of them tend to, well, ba lebala go Botswana. That is why most of us Botswana men are, not to me, struggling. We could be having lots of millionaires in Botswana. Part of it is that Botswana men, we don't value family. How lebelela the Europeans or the Americans, they value family. Rona hela banna ba Botswana hela, we don't value family. We don't value stability. Kore monna Botswana right now, ota ba ta gongwe here hey honey, I'm done with the interview now, I'm gonna see the boys and then I'll be back at home at 10. No, and no feel like once, especially when now they have power and resources. But before they had that, but that is why when you follow women's stories, they would say, "Can I have been supporting Setlhomo when things were rough?" But now, as soon as things started to shine, the light, But in the Western world, perhaps that is why nice tend to value family. Is that those people value family.
Family first.
Later on, I think we need to start valuing family, especially Botswana men, because not to me, I believe that family is everything. With family, you can achieve a lot of things. But without a family, yes, you would achieve, but a family, like if you know one would be a good leader, sometimes you have to see even through the family how they handle their loved ones.
Because if you can lead that unit there, then
you can then lead the world. But if you fail to lead a family unit, then your leadership would be haphazard and it would be quite questionable.
Dude, I came across a story today. Pep Guardiola, Man City, the manager, he's going through a divorce.
Oh, yeah. I think I've read that, even though I'm not a football fanatic, but the wife...
And bro, my heart... I was like, dude, and apparently, I don't know how true this is, but apparently the reason for the divorce is that she feels deserted. The guy is always, football this, football that, away for the matches and all of that. And I thought that's really a selfish reason to divorce somebody. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
Well,
and what's painful is that she's taking
quite a lot.
Taking quite a lot.
I think just that I've only seen it on tabloids, so I do not know the accuracy of the real reason behind divorce. Some people might just scandalize divorce. But one thing that I have noted in the first world is that during the divorce, especially when there's a family, a woman always takes a larger share as compared to men. That is why I think the Western society, when it comes to divorce, children's rights, it's like a man is not, it's just alienated. It's very rare to see a man walking away with a larger portion and kids, or just 50-50. So that's somehow, I feel like they are always taking away almost everything from a man. That is, of course, something to fear, but their story, it's different from ours.
For sure.
Every other story has its unique ending, and marriage has its unique, because I do not think that the wife would just wake up and say, this man is spending more time making money for our family. There are other things that obviously because you're looking at a man who is a celebrity versus a woman who is not a celebrity. So the manner in which that will be broadcasted would be more like portraying a woman in a negative light. It will be as if a woman is just to wake up, you know what, you're spending more time away from me. You might even find that the man is promiscuous.
Maybe Pep was spinning the block, you know what I mean?
Yes, and other things that now when it comes there, they would want us to sympathize with him and portray, because a woman's voice has not been said or nothing credible to say that, okay, the reason why I'm leaving. And also, I have this theory that a woman or any other person don't wake up just to walk out of the marriage.
True.
They would have tried and tried.
Maybe some counseling in there as
and
well.
Everything, and kids involved and others, another thing. And until it reaches that point where people say, you know what, it's not working for us. Let's take separate ways.
So yes or no? You're about to get married. God bless you with that decision. But marriage in community of property?
I'm out of community of property.
Out of property. Why out of property? Because when you decide to do that, apparently that has a connotation that you don't really love the person enough to want to share life and everything that you have with them.
I think I live a risky life. So if you wanna marry, if you live a risky life or politically and socially exposed life, you wanna minimize the risk to another person. So I would rather, when things or shit hit the fan, I'd rather go alone and her saved. I've seen, I don't know if your podcast is allowed to name drop, but those are public cases. I've seen Isaac Kosi, the state going after him. He almost lost everything. And even the wife's house was attached at some point. And fortunately for them is that house was on the wife's name, and that's how they got it back. I've seen Bakanseretse losing almost everything.
Yeah.
I've seen even other members of then opposition who are now in the ruling party losing everything through lawsuits and other things. So even myself, I'm faced with many litigations.
Hey, we're about to talk about that because you're in court. Bro.
Yeah, so I believe that if I marry, I love to marry out of community of property to protect her.
Yeah.
Not that I don't love her.
I guess that act on its own is love speaking, because you don't want. Yeah,
I don't want her to imagine. I mean, she has been working for over 4 years now, over 5 years. Yeah. Imagine everything that she has now. Just all lost through some of my risky life. No, I would rather lose everything that I have built on my own, and then she succeed. With or without me, I would never want shared liabilities and shared risk, but I would always obviously be supportive and contribute to her growth and including
I want to challenge that though, because I feel like the true nature or the true definition of what love is supposed to be, is that while you are fearful of putting her at risk, is she fearful of putting you at risk? What I'm trying to drive at, right, is that I think with love, it's loss and profit, death, sickness, and health, right? So you don't get into a love relationship and you say, maybe let me not get too involved with this person, because if they ever get sick, I'm not going to be fully there. Because sickness on its own, it's a not very, very cool situation, right? But you will be there, right? And if your woman ever gets into debt right now, you will be there as Setlhomo, right? So when you reverse that, shouldn't she at least hope that she can, I'm trying to phrase this question properly.
I got you.
You get where I'm coming from?
Yeah, I'd interject and even help you align. I'd start from the biblical concept.
Yeah.
There is a man in the Bible called Abraham.
Yes.
And the wife was called Sarah. The Bible says that they had went into some area.
Right.
There, they were asking Abraham, how are you related to this woman? Abraham and Sarah denied, saying that she is my sister.
He almost got the king in trouble for that.
For that. The reason why they came to that was that they would have killed Abraham to take the woman.
Sarah,
so they came to save that. You know what? If it means that we have to be spared, let's now say that you are my sister. And only the Lord revealed that this is the woman's wife, and then they were able to walk out. So there are things, not just the spiritual point of view. Mm-hmm. Like if people speak of sickness, there are things that are natural and things that are not natural, but social and political and economic.
Right.
So when you speak of shared risk, shared losses, and whatever shared profits, I wouldn't look at it from that point. In terms of today, like I've been in Ireland for the last 4 months, before I can sleep with her, I'd want to do a full test so that I'm not exposing her to any other thing. It's not I don't trust her.
Would you request it from her?
No, for both of us. Not requesting, saying, Babs, let's do this together.
Right.
This is me protecting her and also her protecting me. We have exposure, we have temptations, we have any other things. So it's not always about me looking, but making sure if, for example, today I have a STI and she doesn't have that, I would say, let's not either have sex or let's use the protection until I have treated this. I wouldn't just say, let's just do whatever so that we can both of us.
No. In that
last
example,
week, I had cold and I had cold sores. I just told her that I have cold sores. I can't kiss you because you would have this thing again and it might be worse for you. Let me deal with this.
And the best lover goes to Setlhomo.
So
no, but I get you. You know what I'm trying to get at? Can I push back a little bit and say, when the Bible says the two have become one, I don't think you should go then through life thinking there's two people in this thing. There's one person who is making profit, one person who has a liability. So while I understand the level of love that you have to not put your partner at that kind of risk, are you able to look at it as one person who is now at risk? There's no two people.
Definitely.
Or that's not a realistic way of...
I think one thing that we confuse is that talk about investment.
Yeah.
You cannot just take. They always say that don't put all your eggs in one basket.
For sure.
Put it in many. It's more like you are spreading the risk. So what I'm doing with marriage, I see it from both economical perspective, cultural and everything. So I do not look at it from that, oh, now the two shall become one. We are one in spirit, one in love. But in terms of the risk, we need to act like one thing that I always tell people that I'd like even during my marriage to have more than 2 plots and 2 houses developed. If in the event that we divorce, I would like my wife to have their house. I'd love to have a house as well. We cannot just build one home and then say, oh, until death do us apart. What if maybe we are in our 80s and then we decide, or things don't work out? It means that I would have to start afresh, or she would have to start afresh. But I'd love her to have something that they can have. If it's a house, if it's a farm, if it's a business or whatever. So to me, I do not think that marrying out of community of property always entails something. We look at it from the negative point of view that, oh, now you guys will be walking to, it's not like hakereka, tafole, and oreka steel. No. Anything, of course, that would accrue, it will always be ours, not necessarily. But in terms of the risk, I would definitely want to minimize the risk. Even now, one of the things that I have done, that is why some of those lawsuits are not much scaring me, is that I don't have much assets in Botswana. I have assets in Ireland. You can't attach them.
All right, okay, my man. All right, we're going to play a little game called Is She a Red Flag or Not? Okay. And then we get to the real deal. I'm talking about Seda. I'm talking about Sunny. I'm talking about Scar. I'm talking about a lot of crazy stuff that's been going on through your social media as well. And obviously the peaceful protest. We'll get into that right after this game right here. Number one, if she doesn't wear a bra going out, is she a red flag?
No.
Okay.
She is not.
She isn't. All right. Do you want to qualify that?
Yes. Definitely, I believe that a woman has to wear what she wants and what makes her feel comfortable when she is going out.
Right. I love that. If she got a BBL or any work done on her body, is she a red flag?
Yes.
Yeah. So a woman can wear what she wants, but she can't do what she wants with her body?
No, as in, to me, once I found the BBL, I'm like, I love natural stuff. I love it natural.
Yeah, the way you are.
Yeah.
Okay. Nah, great answer, by the way. If she's still talking to her ex, is she a red flag?
Yes or no. It depends.
That's interesting.
If they don't have kids together, or if they have had anything that forces them to talk, it's okay. But if they don't have anything that forces them to talk every other day,
why are you talking to him?
Then why are you talking to him?
Yeah. You've never had this kind of experience in the past?
Even though it reminds me that I still talk to all of my exes.
See.
Not every day though, just that once in a blue moon.
Nah, stop it, Steezy.
Yeah.
I don't think your baby mama would love that.
But I think because of the level of trust that I would never, one thing that I have vowed to in my life is that I would never date a person, break up with them, and then date them again. Never. Even if we're to be two, never.
Why? Why that?
I feel like every person is sent in our life for a purpose and a mission and a time frame. Once that time frame has elapsed, we can never go together. We have to move on with our lives and meet different people. I don't believe in moving back and forth and whatever, like a door. No. I just go forward.
Back and forth like a door. All right. So if she's earning more money than you, is that a red flag?
Nope.
No?
Yes.
You're quite comfortable. You're
I'm
secure.
quite comfortable. There has been many months that I wasn't working.
Yeah.
Even now I'm not working. My fiance is working. And she's earning more money than me.
Beautiful.
Yes.
I guess when you really find a good woman, right, those things are not a problem at all.
Not a problem at all.
What we have is a problem of social media where most of our young ladies are pressured to,
yes,
get with the guy with money.
No, with money more than you and all those things. Nah. Those things, social media standards have ruined love and relationships.
So if she makes you wait 90 days before you get sexually involved with her, is that a red flag to you? Steezy,
I'd
can't
say
wait.
yes.
I can't wait.
I'd say yes.
Steezy's like, no, I can't wait that long.
Yeah, I can't wait that long.
Really? That's too long.
It depends on I feel like, why are you making me wait? You have to explain to me.
Okay.
Like if feelings are mutual, we might even after 4 hours talking or after 4 days of talking and then have it.
Yeah. What's the shortest period you've talked to somebody and then it happened? It's a day, man. 24 hours. Steezy.
I've been quite lucky enough to have 2 hours or 3 hours and then I think the feelings were mutual.
The real definition of getting lucky, right? 2 hours, like 1, 2.
Yeah, 2 hours and then I was quite charming enough and then, yeah.
This is what is lust at its fullest,
at its
right?
finest.
Yeah.
I think then I was in my early 20s, but now
You're a fine boy.
Yeah, I was very, very aggressive.
Yeah. Okay, 2 hours. That's crazy. How about you, Kay? Oh, my bad. Can I forget you guys are in really lovely relationships and I'm blowing you. How about you, Tabz? All right, no comment. How long? All right, so what else do I have here? If she wears, okay, we already spoke about that. If she smokes cigarettes, is she a red flag? How do you feel about that?
I'd say no.
Okay.
Even though I've been with one person who was smoking, and in the first world, every woman smoke. I'd say
most women.
Yeah, most women do smoke, unlike in Botswana. Just that for me, because I'm a bit asthmatic, so I tend to not like them personally when they are. If someone is quite clean enough to say, okay, I'm gonna smoke, I'm gonna get outside, then that's okay for me. But the problem is that these days people just smoke in front of you and then make you cough and cough. Not
very inconsiderate.
Yeah, inconsiderate. So, or sometimes they would want to smoke in the car. So that is whereby I love someone who is decent in whatever that they do.
Yeah.
Even when they drink, I love them to make sure that they clean after themselves in the house,
don't
leave
that.
everything. If things that people do don't affect me personally, then I don't have a problem with them. I draw a line whereby they now want to impose what they do on me. No. That's whereby I say, you know what? I think I would not like this. But if there's someone smoking and then they smoke outside and try to clean their mouth after that and before they can breathe on me, then I'm okay with that. I don't just judge people on what they do. I'm quite a liberal person.
All right. And so if she has been unfaithful in the past, is she a red flag?
Nope.
No. Okay. People can change, right?
Yes. And also
because there's this notion that says if she has cheated before, she's definitely going to cheat again.
And not necessarily. I've cheated before many times, sometimes 6. Yeah, sometimes I had 6 side chicks and everything back in the past. Yeah, I used to play a lot.
6 side chicks?
Yeah, 6.
At a go?
At a go.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you played all 6 at a go?
Played
successfully?
My cards well. I played my cards well. So
Jesus,
but I have now, I think I've changed, I've reformed.
Yeah.
So that is why I believe that every person deserves a chance, and also circumstances, because then I was in a long-term relationship. So being not long-term, long-distance relationship, it means that you might find yourself now having from town to town. And also I was always traveling, so it meant that I have to keep myself busy. So, but all in all, I believe that people change. There are circumstances that might play towards that. So I believe that every person deserves a second chance.
Right. So if she has cheated in the past, it doesn't necessarily mean she's a red flag, right?
Yeah.
How about if she goes out to a club all the time? She's a groovist. Is that a red flag?
It's a red flag for me.
Yeah, nah.
It's a red flag.
Hey, groovist, nah.
Yeah, groovist. I love someone who is, I mean, if you're always going out to a club all the time or every Friday you're out, when do you have time for me? Right. When do you have time for us to go to the cinema?
Right.
Or just talk about family, just to watch, maybe drink from home, just to relax.
Cozy time.
Yeah, cozy time. I hate someone who is always out grooving? When are we having time to wake up, maybe join the Sunday or Saturday club, running club, or funeral, or something family, community-based? So I'm not really much into groovies to myself.
Yeah. So more than, spending time together at the house and getting to know each other, bonding and all of that, I think some of the risks also are outside at the clubs. Talk about other boys trying to get with your girl, this and this and that. I don't think that scenario right there, if you're doing it every Friday, every weekend, is a trustworthy scenario.
Definitely. I always say
especially Gabs.
Yes, especially Gabs. No matter how principled you are, even myself, with a woman, every time I'm out, sometimes there are those temptations, just that I'm never out all the time. I try to protect myself and the other person. But now, alcohol can inhibit how your mind functions, and there are things that you might end up doing or saying when you are drunk. So I'd rather be drunk with my person, knowing that, okay, I'm home. So I also wouldn't love someone that, how are we going to grow rich or accumulate wealth together if you are always spending our money at, Gab's franchise restaurants are quite expensive.
Very.
Every time I'm out with boys, I know that I have to pop 500-800 pula. And actually with us, I believe that because we are economical, if you are with a woman who love to drink with his Hennessy and all those stuff, cognac, whatever, you might find yourself going as far as 1.5, 2.5. So then, to me, if you are still young, that's quite a lot of money to spend Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It means that you are budgeting about 5,000 every weekend.
That's wild.
And that's quite a lot of money. And not just that, even your health on its own deteriorate. Health is an asset these days. We have seen how COVID, took toll on our body. So if you are always out, when are you having time for your mental health? So that's why I'm never really I like them just to see them from a distance. I admire their lifestyle, but I think also that some of them, they're still discovering themselves, which is okay. But if it's a woman after the age of 30, 35, I start wondering and questioning what's their goal in life.
What's going
on? Are they going through a phase in life? If it's someone going through a phase in life, it's okay. But if it's a continuous from the first month to the last month, then I won't definitely hang out with them much.
All right, so let's get to CEDA, man. You have been trending since you came back to B-Dub. I'm not too sure how long you're around for. Are you around for?
For now, I'm here, I think, until March or end of February.
March or end of Feb, okay. But since you came back, you've been trending, and I think, you correct me if I'm wrong, but it's because of your social media posts about alleged maladministration, alleged corruption over at CEDA, right? When you started talking about that, you then imposed certain actions which now led to the peaceful protest against that. But obviously, I don't have much understanding of what's been going on. And that's one of the reasons why I try to call you here. And thank you very much for coming. What happened? What's the background of this story? What's going on?
Thank you for that, TKay, and thank you for hosting me. I feel honored. Dialogue is quite an important thing in life. Actually, I think in November or so, I was just writing on social media. Some things. It wasn't the first time I wrote about CEDA. I've written about CEDA before. Many years, and I've always questioned. I've always been critical of CEDA and any other institution, including BURS, Air Botswana, any other institution. I've always been vocal myself or critical of these public institutions. So around between October and November, I started writing about them. Instead of them saying that, say, we have noted some remarks on social media about corruption, maladministration, and what's not, those with any other evidence they can submit, maybe to our whistleblower unit or relevant unit for investigation, or to relevant institution for investigation. We remain open to criticism and anything. They went into what I call defense mode. They went into defense and assault. I was in Ireland. I had not then intending to come to Botswana. My trip to Botswana was in December because remember I came to Botswana in November for a week and then I had to go back. reason I came is that they sent me cease and desist order while I was still in Ireland via email as well as WhatsApp. And then I did not comply with it because it wanted me to remove the materials that I shared.
Right.
And then I apologize. And then I refused. I mean, what am I apologizing for? And then they went to court. Now, when they went to court, they did not serve me with anything. I've just saw the interim order on social media. It had been shared by newspapers.
Right, I think I saw that. Yeah.
So now that it's gag order. They gagged me while I was in Ireland.
Yeah.
And that enraged me. I then engaged Mr. Bakotelo Mipi of Mipi, Dinokopila Mipi attorneys, who was very, very passionate about the issue. And
Dinox took me, what was that? Admin law in UB.
Yeah, he also taught me admin law, I
Nice.
think, and I'm not sure about
Constitutional, rather,
Yeah. So he's a great man, an activist on his right. And even Bakotelo, we and the SRC together, has been an activist or social activist. Is a man who is always on the right of justice. He tried to right wrongs. He stand against injustice, and his principles then led me to seek the legal assistance. And they were quite helpful when I was in Ireland, advising me on steps to take. But one thing that because by then, while I was planning to come to Botswana, they were now applying for contempt of court. The whole thing was to gag me, throw me in jail. And then I said, you know what? They thought, and even some of the lawsuits that came, they thought maybe I went to Ireland to hide and run away, like I would be, because there are people in Botswana, even the former president who is now back, has at some point in the family left Botswana, or they said he fled or whatever, and they thought I'm like that. I'm not afraid. With me, the one thing that I enjoyed about is that once you attack me, you are giving me what I desire to control the situation. Then I would beat you at your own game. So I came here, and when I came here, actually, I always tell people that when I'm not in Botswana, I'm not stronger than when I'm home. Like, if I come back home, then I would beat you at your own game. When I came back here, I now went into the trenches and then took the people and said, let's merge there. I had not intended to protest against CEDA. I wanted CEDA to acknowledge and then open for dialogue, reflect, because some of those concerns were legitimate. Any institution have to be criticized. We are criticized. And it's a public institution. Any Botswana has to have a say about its running, sometimes even unfairly, whatever. So they went on to sue. And
so what were they suing for exactly?
It's more or less defamation.
Defamation, okay.
It's more, So they were saying that what I was saying about them, it's unfair and not true. And then one of the things that the judge was asking was that if it's a public institution funded by taxpayers, if what Setlhomo says is not true, then you owe it to the public to share the truth. If today you are saying there are members of the former ruling party and other prominent figures in the society who took loan unfairly or who took loans while they had defaulted, then you owe it to the public to say, no, that's not true. We have not awarded loans to these people.
You rebut that with evidence.
We rebut with evidence, but they went on to defend. And if these men say that there are business plans that have been stolen, and there is this report that had been shared with me or that had been leaked with me, because there was a report that was leaked and many other things. And then there is also this, the brand ambassador who had a list of items on his social media that I pulled to say this and that, pulled some materials from SIPA to say this and that. Then you have to rebut with the truth. Say, you know what? These allegations are false. This is the truth. So most of them went into combative mode. And, one thing that Botswana hate and that I'll always be proud of is arrogance. Even myself, I always pray that arrogance. I know that it's something that all of us, we are arrogant.
We have a share of it.
Botswana have the arrogance. One thing that made them stand with me. Not that tomorrow ga ba khona go nna against me. It's normal. They might be against, or they will definitely. But one thing that Batswana was starting, arrogance le go mona, because that mindset, oh, he's just a small boy who sells perfumes with nothing, or we tower and then Batswana stood with me. Batswana.
Hey, they really did.
Yes, they literally financially everything they contributed, even to some of my legal fees. They raised I think 120,000 within
820K.
No, 120,000 within because they are not rich. You see, the thing that people fail to realize that the people who were there, ke Batswana baba kotasi, they are not rich. That is why I was not, to me, it's more like they raised the millions for me, just 100, because I knew that they gave their last. The rich were in their offices, in their farms and any other things. But those who were there, they're unemployed, they're underemployed, they're running their business, which are struggling. If their business were doing well, they wouldn't have been there with me. So you see, if you want revolution, a true revolution, you have to target those who are oppressed, the minority. So they came in large numbers, and they had thought, they blocked me from taking the permit from the police, submitting, and then there is a ongoing court case, and then the permit, we're supposed to drop it at the parliament, then permanent secretary to trade, but what she failed to realize that it gave us now the mileage. I mean, if you protest from GSS ground to parliament, you are only seen by a few people because it's only one way, and it's just there. But now if you allow us to go from there to pass through the Fields Mall, the station, like they gave us a mileage, a good run, publicity. So it gave us a very large following, and it won me Botswana's support. That is why now, if I were to tell Botswana tomorrow, we are protesting against any other institution that oppress you, thousands would come.
Definitely.
And would change that.
So
if
that's
Botswana was happy about WUC or BPC, yaka Botswana ba letse ruri ka motakasi, ba letse ruri ka metsi a turang, ba letse ruri ka the basics, the bare minimum. If I tell them, let's go, they'll definitely heed to my advice. But I do not want that to abuse such. I do not feel proud of that. I want us to have a dialogue.
Sit down and talk.
What can we do? What are the solutions? Like now I had solutions, and I still have solutions on how to make CEDA better. CEDA was supposed to create over 100 Botswana young millionaires. Right now, economy of Botswana. Right now, Botswana, we don't have millionaires who are entrepreneurs. We have millionaires who are tenderpreneurs. Entrepreneurship. And then inflate. That is why right now projects in Botswana that are done at inflated figures. That is the only quickest way. Many businesses that are doing well in Botswana, there had been some sort of tenderpreneurship. CEDA was supposed to facilitate entrepreneurship. CEDA was supposed to target Botswana. One, fresh from university, doesn't qualify for loans in the commercial banks. Fresh with ideas, because they are supposed to have mentorship programs there. They have supposed to have incubation programs there with a layer. So they were supposed to create right now every village in Botswana ka wena le millionaire yo leng gore o thusitswe ke CEDA le wena right now you're podcasting ka bo se a place whereby you have been funded by CEDA. Some of these the risk with CEDA, the maximum risk, innovation and invention have to come through CEDA, not through commercial banks. Commercial banks have some of the risk there. It's in terms of the loan approval process. It's because it's commercial. They are focused there. But CEDA was supposed to bridge gap between commercial banks and non-commercial banks or traditional banks. They're supposed to, the guidelines were supposed to be more like quite community-based.
Right.
Sort of, even grants were supposed to come through CEDA. But now what we have seen in the last 5 to 10 years, CEDA, it's more like commercial banks. Not just that, it only benefit mainly politicians or their friends or people of influence. Today, if I were to apply for a loan from CEDA, even with a questionable business loan, chances are they would fund me simply because I'm a prominent or socialite. But Botswana, who is deserving you along, eneke semang otswa ko khaolong o ta itwaletse manyanyatha. And then we just simply toss them around because we believe that it has now been given this Gaborone standards. But to Botswana ba elong gore e ne tshwanetse ya ba thusa ga e ba thusi ra re ba neela shema kama 50,000. What can you do with 50,000 pula? No business that would be viable that can be funded by 50,000.
So I'm guessing you never apply for chema.
No. That thing's supposed to be, I'm praying the new government live up to its promises. They are supposed to turn that into a grant. 50,000. There is no business, viable business that's supposed to start with 50,000. Within 2 months, we started. 150,000, 200,000. We're supposed to. Botswana has money, but unfortunately, that money ends up in the hands of the few, corrupt few. There's so much government wastage. So we are supposed to inject a lot of money into some risk. Like right now, where now I was coming from, I was qualifying for, even fresh from college, I was qualifying for loans that some of them are 20,000 euros. Fresh from college. But mo Botswana, ngwana ha tswa ko ba isago, ngwana ha tswa ko Linkonkwi, ngwana ha tswa ko University of Botswana, they don't qualify for any meaningful thing. Out of the NHM actually, majority of the Botswana who applied. That is why, there's so much what I would call public fraud in Botswana. Literally, they would announce that we have disbursed 150 million to Chema applicants. They would never say that we have disbursed 200 million to over 50,000 Botswana, and the average amount that we gave them is 10,000 or 5,000 or this little much. Mo Botswana, we love to throw percentages, big numbers. We don't break them down to Botswana. Or me Botswana ba neng ba apply like Shima when they wanted a mere 50,000. Some of them were given 2.5, 3,000. Majority of them, Botswana, were hopelessly dealt with. That thing, Shima, is the worst political scam we ever had. It's a scam, that thing. Majority of Botswana who applied for Shema, they did not get 50,000. They never got 30,000. They never got 20,000. They never got 15,000. They never got 10,000. They got 3,000, 7.5. Literally, like, as if they don't understand businesses. So majority, all this Shema was just a political stunt.
It was a what would you say it was a campaign for
it was just a political campaign.
Okay.
It was never well thought of. You see, government, I am praying the new government succeed because our government would have brilliant ideas, but the implementation of it and the monitoring process of it, it's usually flawed. It is just abstract. It lacks the practicality of it. Like today, if you say, what should have happened with Shema, for example? You can have it and then say that people with existing, it will benefit you when you have a business.
Existing business.
Existing business, just simply inject the hell out there. But if you are starting afresh, maybe on the street and other things, all these monotonous business ideas. But if it's a new business idea, you need one capital.
Right.
You need rent 3 months. Like a business, profit. Between 4 to 6 months, up to 12 months.
For sure.
Bone, even their cooling period, it was quite small. Their repayment plan it never made sense. Actually, bomachonisa ene sa make sense to Botswana yo le kang go simolola. So it literally, I believe that the government should just turn it into a grant and then close it
and just
find
close it
something
up
that would be sustainable, something that would be targeted. One thing that there's been many other schemes before. Backyard gardening.
I remember that.
The only scheme that I believe that worked in Botswana, I think it's return to school or return to college, target 100,000.
Yeah.
Manana wa bo dipudi a boeng. Manana wa rona bo dipudi a boeng. Na sankiata today at the farm and say, oh, Setlhomo already have 5 goats. Why not give him a breed then? Manana wa rona a textbook. They lack practicality.
Yeah.
Of course, Motswana tabare leneala Botswana ba sembana something, but give a Motswana who is already trying
something on the ground,
or who can show that indeed I have this thing, but what I lack, it's funding, mentorship. It can work. But proposal.
Yeah.
And then the thing fail.
So in the midst of all of this, I see that you petitioned to the Minister of Trade.
Yes.
Right? And you guys successfully had a meeting yesterday.
Yes.
What was it all about? Just take us back to why you decided to try and get the minister's ears.
Because some of those complaints or the things going on at CEDA, that's systemic.
Yep.
They require, because the Minister of Trade, I'd say that the CEDA accounts to the minister.
For sure.
So therefore, we believe that there is a need to restructure CEDA. There is a need to have checks and balances in place.
Okay.
There is a need for communication. Motswana ha applyela selo. CEDA ha tshwanna go itira o ka ra banka o ka re ke roboto. Ha re beele ka go to take Motswana through the processes. So what CEDA spent more time was looking at the positives or the good stories. They never looked at the negatives. Motswana project e fades. They never had structures in place to support that. Even negative feedback. Negative feedback is good for growth.
For sure.
Especially an institution like CEDA. Another that can solo hela gore CEDA ka bankangwa. Batswana ba tsilo huma. Ba tsilo go huma ba le bantsi. There are many, Botswana have many business ideas. Unfortunately, what lack mo Botswana
is the
funding, ke support. We don't need many Chinese and Indians barana and other businesses about the screenshot, it's about the phone. Like right now, if you go to BBS, unfortunately, Botswana, they lack funding for place.
Right.
They lack mentorship. They lack something to support them, to facilitate their brilliant ideas.
Yeah. So what did the minister say? Any feedback you're able to share?
Yesterday, the minister said that they are hands-on.
Okay.
They are about to appoint a forensic auditor or the personnel or the company that will go through that they unfortunately they cannot update us every here and there or every other 7 days because they want the process to be independent.
Yeah.
I think they were quite assuring of baboni.
And you're happy?
I was happy. I think last year, maybe I felt like there was more like they did not give the issue the attention it deserved. Right now, I'd say 80% happy. The only thing that did not make me happy, and that still doesn't make me happy, is that if you are to audit someone, especially police, if you go and report Setlhomo, and then we are investigating Setlhomo, we have opened a case against Setlhomo. By one, they have to call me to question me, or they have to detain me.
For sure.
If it's an institution like CEDA, if you are saying that you are going to audit them, a forensic audit, not an internal audit. Like right now, we've heard that land board, but there's a forensic audit. They have to suspend or put on a paid leave. I think Botswana Ash is also, they have to put on paid leave or suspension.
Right.
The CEO. So if you are going to do such a process, a delicate process, the first thing in any part of the world that has always been done and that is being done today is to suspend the CEO. If it's not the CEO, then the board. That's the only thing that would make the process look fair. We are not saying that the man is guilty. Maybe out of all things that they said,
he must really dislike you at this point.
Yeah, they might.
I imagine he doesn't like you.
But
and obviously the ambassador as well. I don't imagine him being happy with you at this point.
Who is the ambassador?
The ambassador is it the former ambassador?
Oh, yeah. But you see,
he's still the ambassador, right?
We'll get on that.
We'll take
you see, one of the things I've heard that he's a cool man.
Yeah.
I'm yet to see or meet him, and the CEO of CEDA.
Yeah.
I'm told that he's a good man.
Okay.
I'm told just that any other things will be thrown.
Yeah.
You see, what I was saying wasn't targeted at him.
For sure.
As in from a personal level.
Yeah.
If it was targeted, whatever personal.
Right.
It wasn't personal.
Yeah.
Even if I were to meet him, I'd shake hands with him. I'd be proud of him. From this thing is that he's a human. What I was questioning is his leadership. It's the office that he holds. You see, one of the things Botswana is confusing the office. We are not the office. That's a public office.
And different, yeah.
Yeah, even the brand ambassador. Personally, I'm a huge fan of him. I know he admire me, what.
Yeah, I even saw pictures of you guys together in the past, right?
I've always been that gentleman. I've always supported him from University of Botswana. He was then, I think he's a columnist, Sunday Standard.
Yeah.
I think there was something like hold no barrels, hold no barrels, something like that. I've always been a huge fan of him. What I was questioning, it's his office, the office that he holds, which is the brand ambassador. I wouldn't have a problem if today not to me, he's an established brand.
Yeah.
He can be called in to do something for Orange, Mascom, any other institution. I think he's qualified enough to do that. He has shown us that actually that man, he has done more for CEDA than what Botswana have realized.
Yeah.
When he came in, to me, the CEDA the image was already in tatters, was already been in question.
Okay.
But he came in and he gave it a new life, a new chapter.
Kudos to him, yeah.
Yeah, what he has done, many would never do. It's his legacy. It's something that I'd always respect.
Yeah.
But what I was questioning was that while he's a brand ambassador, there were posts on his timeline that showed that some of those businesses have been funded by CEDA. While on SIPA, it shows that they are his. I understand that later on he said that they were not his, whatever the semantics. And then SIPA released saying that every information you see there is accurate and up to date. If there is anyone who says that, they are not, we also have penalties in place. So they are as we see them. It's up to him to have amended them. So based on my own investigation, most of them that were there that I wrote of, they were his. Or maybe there had been change of directors and every other things later when maybe he realized that he cannot qualify for additional loans while he's still paying. Mm-hmm. But there were a lot of, one thing that I would have loved and that I would still love him to do, that he should have done. Because after that, I wrote, he came, say, I was at the farm, I was on a vacation. Who is Setlhomo for me to cancel my vacation, whatever, I'm going to make him poor. He would feel...
You say that?
He said that he won't even like Botswana. He came with the arrogance, very, very much arrogance, anger. I understand that we are human. We all have our, especially when things were like that, because maybe there might have been people who were waiting for his downfall. What he should have done was that, approach or PR, it's everything. If there are accusations leveled against me and I'm a public figure, disrespect, does he think he know who I am or who does he think he is? I have to assure the people that I have seen the remarks by Setlhomo saying that, or negative remarks about me. All the things that he said are not true. This is the truth. Yeah. And I remain open for accountability for anything. Right. I have been doing my job delicately, sincerely. All these businesses. And actually, only on his letter from the deceased, whatever, letter of demand, he then stated that, I own this business, because on his wall, it showed that he owned Roko Mamas. I think Roko Mama Store, and it showed another business. He did not...
this right here?
No, I think the other one, I can't recall the facts, but something to do with the Roko Mamas. Right. I would love to go back, and because I did not memorize, but he showed that he had interest on that. Okay. And another business, and he showed on his Facebook page. So mine was from ethics. accountability, conflict of interest.
Conflict,
that if I'm the brand ambassador of CEDA, ha CEDA in funder for my business, e be ke tsama gape ke duelela gore ne re ha ya Francistown go na le madi o tshelwa petrol ke CEDA. Aba tsenya go mona mo his timeline is being paid by CEDA. So mine was that you cannot be the brand ambassador funded by CEDA again, even if there is nothing that prohibits you from being funded. I mean, today, Babereki by the bank, FNB, they are eligible for loans. But it will be very questionable for a fund you then a their own business. Brand perfumery with Lion funded by that.
I see it.
So mine was that, where do we draw a line between abuse and office? Abuse of an office, le mo go genuine gore ka se ka wa ro fundilwe e bo ba gapo tsa business sa go ta di buy, and how di buy, unlike other business that you've been showing gore ke mo di owner tsele tsone o se supi gore ke bo man the owner ra tsa tsone e be o di hita o di buy as if ke tsa Botswana o sa dire hey ha re nna CEDA o mfandile ba geso CEDA a funda le nna me ke business ena no you make it as if they are not yours, but SIPA record shows that some of them are yours. So mine was more like abuse in office. We need, as a brand ambassador, it means that you now have access to privileged information that Botswana doesn't have access to. How certified we are that you are not maybe stealing people's ideas. One thing that was that question is that now how similar na brand ambassador? You now become the director and a shareholder on more than 3 companies. Ever since we simula where did onale business acumen e kalo o bereka a job e ono go tsala hatsiloti gore all of a sudden you become a businessman multiple businesses, and then supang gore according to your own post di fundilwe ke CEDA gore yaanong go nna ya ambrazeni, because it's like now you are competing with that which you are supposed to do. So I think mo Botswana hela what we see, even my parliament, the ministers, my councillor, motho ha teng ha sena go asuma office. Wonna le gore anong ba simolla hela ka ne re truti ba etele dipele ba pele bogote tautona le ene ke Motswana tautona a tshwanetse ano ba hela tsa banyana farm se a computer le Botswana. We have this thing of abuse of office in Botswana gore sentse I am.
So from that story, you've obviously trended every other day since then. And I don't know how, by what stretch you then started beefing with Scar. Because then the next thing I saw is like, I mean, Stacey, what's going on? You know what I mean? So I want to hear it from the horse's mouth.
Yeah.
Where did the back and forth and the beef with Scar start?
Scar, I think Scar is depressed. I think Scar is not happy about his life.
Hey, yo.
I think Scar...
that's my brother.
Not your words, my words.
Right,
I hope he won't hate you for that.
No.
Scar has always picked or poked me many times before the CEDA thing.
Yeah.
There was a time whereby V had said something about his ex-wife. And I was one of the people who spoke about her land. I deleted those. How can you say that to Ma?
Right.
So he then went to his timeline to throw shades. Any other person, whenever I question them, even BK Proctor once said, Jacket 5.5, it's not even a designer or whatever. Now I'm always critical of any other thing.
You said what?
It's not a designer, it's not worth the money. Like I had said
Why would you say that to someone else?
No. I mean...
aren't you supposed to uplift another Botswana who's trying?
I have to uplift by positive criticism. It was just a remark said, but it wasn't said in that light that I say, or the tone. It was said in a different tone. I'm just summarizing the gist of it.
Right.
The pricing model is Botswana hela tsone. They're always outrageous and many things. So I've always, I think, critiqued things that are related, including the BDP. Kanaska orata BDP or guys boy a BDP is not easy a nice boy anyway. So
you're killing me with
the Hennessy nyana tse di shipi tsa mavovo na ba defender. So all these people ba nang gore ba mo dirisa as ice boy. Ne ke nna ke ba critic on social media. So I can count up to 50 posts that Scar has directed to me indirect and direct. Many times. You know the funny part from the CEDA lawyer, any other person involved on the CEDA thing has been to Scar's podcast. They were his boys, including Bodo Kase, the former ambassador and the former minister. So he so he felt the need to defend them by throwing. After my child passed on, he went on to throw shades and celebrate. I mean, who on his right sense, hey, that's right.
Did he really do that?
He did something like that. He went on to remove it.
What I saw is that he posted something about your son, but he wasn't aware that your son had died, according to his post.
No. He was, because it was coincidental. He mentioned it, and then if he wasn't aware, he wouldn't have recalled the post. Like when someone shared a link, okay, that's good for him, for his mental health, and mine as well. So I thought what I because and I don't. But I think he followed, or he just see my things through that screenshot. I mean, posts can go viral.
Yeah.
It's a community. So I don't have a problem. Even if he had blocked me, I think I really don't care about him. He has no value in our society. He had no value.
Scar has no value in our society.
His value is minimal. I mean, today, if I can say, out of 5 Botswana,
this guy.
Scar, his contribution. Like today, to be fair and frank,
I don't even mean to laugh, but
to be fair and frank, there are many people who their lives were changed by V Mampies. He's a modem, but there are many people that I know.
Scar is a broadcaster, right? Has been on radio. Scar, even with the podcast right now, broadcasting, it adds a whole lot of value to a lot of people that are tuned in. Right? And a lot of other things that he has done through his music. There's been a little bit of philanthropy as well. Scar has changed a few lives. Still changing a few lives.
Scar has spent more of his time. To me, he was like, I don't know. I don't want to say it. It might come across as rude, but he has not changed life. That is why right now, kana hasen na motho anta gona le bo ya ukila morare hey ke mmasape gona le bo penyo limitless. He's always picking up a fight with batho ba banye mo go ene. If he had changed lives, he could be picking fights with people who are older than him or his peers. Sky is frustrated a boy who has failed to get himself out of the hood when his age mates were. I mean, his age mate today ba khwetsa bo di amaroko ba khwetsa GDC ba nako phakalane le bo eng eno santsa le mo huding. That is because the music that he think was the best failed to transform his life. What are the talent that he thought he has? Because to me, he's talentless. If he had a talent, he would have been able to manage his finances and his life. He would have been somewhere in life. He has not been. Unfortunately, at his over 40 year, he has failed in life, which is okay. But
so the standard, no, wait, just on that point, the standard of success that you hold for every person in this life is that by Scar's age, he should be driving an Amarok or a big car.
Not Amarok.
Or a big car.
Or
should have been out of the hood.
A big car.
Because you're saying that he's not successful.
The standards of success in Botswana are very low and cheap.
Okay.
Like in any other part of the world, standard of success in Botswana is car, it's house in Pakalani, and these franchise restaurants, and those are the standards. Whereas in America or in many part of the world is that you have to own a villa, you have to own this and that, and a yacht, and maybe a private plane, all those. So standard of success in Botswana that are very low.
It's attainable.
It's easily attainable, such that for a person of his age and a person, remember, last year party, whatever, or earlier this year. Oh no, last year, yeah.
It's the way you're talking.
Yeah. So, but one thing that I would say is that remember Botswana. Back in his day, his uncle or whatever was former minister Matlaba Phiri. So he was riding. From nowhere, what is Setlhomo? No, he had a name to ride on. bo Rakama, bo Seretse, bo Mankor, people with the names, what they are not self-made. You would never had anyone called Boko in the government. You never had anyone called so in the government or Kilibeng in the government.
Right.
Those are self-made leaders,
right,
or self-made whatever. The people right now in the government, majority of them, they are self-made. So that is why now a person who had a proximity to power, my uncle is a minister, who had that proximity, but back in the day, minister or relative minister, the doors in Botswana, their doors have been closed because of names or say names. Some their doors have been open, not because of talent, but because of say name. External placement simply because of family surnames or who they were related to. Botswana, we had brilliant ideas in the past, simply because they were not children of nobodies. Because of Matlabapir, not because I get your family scanner in nobodies, which is okay. But I'm saying that he never had to sweat or work to be where he is. He simply had to ride on a name.
Is that such a bad thing? I don't know why people call it it's not a bad thing.
It's a good thing for him.
Okay.
But naturally, he failed to sustain that which he took on. He failed to make sure that that thing grow. Generational legacy. Handelwa ga simolla ko go noto ga simolla ko whatever o simolotse on something, and he failed. Not to me, by standards, like there are many of his age mates that I can name.
So you know what I'm struggling to pick up is where during the whole back and forth, actually before the back and what triggered for you guys to now go direct against each other on Facebook? Because I'll see a post from you and then I go and check, then he's saying something back at you as well. Which post made it like, nah, we gotta go?
I think now, because the many people that have written about, many have been to his podcast or that his voice. Okay. Today, if DCEC, FIA, DIS, whatever, they want to investigate, guys, you are corrupt. They simply need to watch Scar's podcast.
I saw your tweet.
It's a crime scene.
I saw your tweet. Let me try to look for it. Shucks, my Wi-Fi here is now. Let me check my data.
Yeah, I think I had said something like,
you said something about that as well.
A crime scene.
Yeah.
A crime scene in the sense that many people who have been there have a questionable past or questionable dealings.
Okay.
So he associated with people with questionable. It was just the guys who were hungry, guys who were corrupt, who came together. So he was always mingling with them, fiddling with them. So he was exposed to such people with questionable reputations and questionable wealth. So that is why now, in Ekare, how can I talk? As an example, towards the elections, Chiliwara Kharis, who is also suing me, by the way, angry against him, the arts and everything. His image.
Actually, the way I tried to get him on my podcast for years.
Because he knew that we're now going to be neutral and fair. And I see to cleanse that image. The Minister of Immigration, I'm not sure which surname now she uses.
Okay.
When you look at 2000, whatever, well, like her remarks were always negative. I said, before the eyes of the public, the constituents were not happy. He was just that spin doctor. Controversial leaders or people who fail to account to the public, they are going to, it was not to me a propaganda tool, the former or the fallen empire. So now, question. That thing whereby they cleanse their image and everything. So he felt like the question about
so that's what started the whole back and forth.
He was always taking himself, but I had nothing against him. But now I have something against him.
What?
And I'm going, because now he has started a war that he would never win. And that
you mean just the post or something else?
No, because he has always been fighting me. But eventually now you have to say, let's fight. and see who wins.
So it hasn't stopped?
No. It hasn't started now. Yeah, out now going after Ska. It hasn't started.
You're now going after
Now
Ska?
I'm going after his scalp. Now I'm going to destroy him.
No, guys, don't destroy each other.
No. I get sometimes many times you have to say, you know what? Let's battle this. Let's see who destroys each other.
So he said I'm not quoting verbatim, but he said you're just a perfume guy.
Mm-hmm.
And then at some point you did something that I felt was very unnecessary, but obviously it's you, you know, this right here post from the 31st December, 2024. Munna, Ska, I didn't run away from Botswana. I left for my further studies. You won't be able to relate as you have nothing to further in life except Bulobe. I chose not to be Lilope Lamadomkrach like you. I have tons of friends where I'm based, ones who are way above your league. Now, this part is where it kind of broke me. I'm like, I don't think you should have said this, Steezy.
No, let me interject.
I chose to sell perfumes as an extra income. It helped me.
Yes. Now let me. It might have been harsh.
Steezy?
No. Because in his post, many posts on Abu guys who have failed, he think that because I sell perfumes in Ireland, I'm just there in Ireland selling perfumes to Botswana.
Yeah.
He think that I have nothing to do. He think that I don't have a network. People who have failed in the countries where they are to network.
Right.
My network is not on Facebook. My network is on LinkedIn. My network is on Instagram. I have a professional networks. Even guys that I was in class with. My network, however, he think some of this franchise, he think what Tegana on social media, that's a networking. That's not networking to me. It's a crew, like this gang. He think that's a network. That's not a network. If he had a network, his life would have changed for the better. His life is still struggling because he has no professional networks.
Man, Ska is not struggling, man.
No, he's struggling. What's his net worth? If he's not struggling, how different is it from any other person? He's still struggling.
So when we say struggle, what are we really talking about?
If he, right now,
yeah,
his podcast, all those equipments are not his. Just to begin with. That is why even that CEDA, I think I took it personal. I want CEDA to even start funding the podcast at Botswana. I want Botswana to start monetizing on YouTube. I want Botswana to start monetizing on TikTok. That's whereby we need to invest on digital or content creation. I want Skagora Hume millionaire. I hear a banana. But and he doesn't look at Botswana. There is a saying that when you are fighting for an African man or a black man, you have to keep another hand for yourself because they'll start fighting. But anyone wants, I'm for Botswana to prosper better than me. Right. I may not be rich, but I'm hopeful that other Botswana will be richer than me. So Ska doesn't see it that way. How bona today it shows me you haven't been. Those things that are this surrounding Ska, they are not his. Nake batla gore Ska nne microphone wa gagwe a nne le camera ya gagwe a nne le his even le studio se leng gore gampe kwa na mo Botswana. One thing that I have a vision on is that some of these malls mo Botswana, we need to have these studios they can go South Africa whereby the rent per hour run by the Ministry of Youth content we need to have even those public studios that can be rented anytime, even for designing, for painting, for interviews. I
love these ideas, by the way.
Interview, let's say. Right now, there are many opportunities to come at Botswana that are working, or any other person working remotely. Interview for an NGO, for a company in Ireland. Motswana internet is stable. The internet cafe is CDM, but we need to have some community-run studios. Interview per an hour. That would be funded by the government to support those initiatives. ko kana khang ka moso kwana because ga na le hilo and le hilo mo Botswana la tura just to rent a place mo Botswana it's expensive, prohibitive.
Yeah.
So we need to make sure that that thing is easy access for Motswana tsena mo studio se eleng gore nako ke tswang teng in Ireland there are many studios that are free. I could have walked into them, do whatever that I do. There are even gyms that are sort of free, almost like
Is that right?
Like, yeah, there's gyms, like anything. We need to have those things in terms of subsidized.
Yeah.
Access to them for their talent. Yellow. It's gonna nail spend so now I'm for that. I'm for empowerment.
So when what would make, because for me I'm really about resolution, especially dispute resolution. What would make you and Scar sit down and be happy brothers?
Is that
what would quash all of this back and forth?
What will quash them is that one, accountability. Scar laha invite whosoever ministers, he would never ask them to account. He would never ask them. He would never hold them to account. He's not a man. He waba pleaser, waba lopel. Na leska harikita redumela na mbo silonga hore. Na ga ke le lope. Ene ke le lope. Na gampe kwana. Na even when I was at the University of Botswana.
Yeah.
I was running a cab before the Indra Vidi na popula. Nere ke tsamo classing ke tabo ke dira machoba. Ha kantsi go loko sina school ne ke rekisa di Monster Pop. Like I've always been someone who dumela more extra income.
I like that.
I've never relied on any person from any other. Le ha ke le ko primary ne re kopa go mo teachers quarter sing go guy, like I've always been a person who you itirelang. So like I don't rely on 9 to 5.
Yeah.
When I was in Ireland I've had 4 jobs. The reason why
4.
There was a time where I had 4 jobs.
Jesus Christ.
There was a time when I held 3 jobs, professional jobs.
Yeah.
The reason why Nahela I've never really been supported by my father cannot tell you that I've supported these men up to university. My mom can never say that. I've always been someone who worked there.
Maybe a self-made man.
So literally I work hard for anything that I have right now.
Yeah.
I worked hard.
So you know who also caught a few strays during your beef, or let's say the ongoing beef? Somebody who's caught some strays is my boy BK Proctor.
Oh, BK Proctor. You see, there was this thing. The supplier.
Apparently. Let's use these words.
No, I agree he paid and the person acknowledged.
I just want to be safe.
Be safe. But not to me, it's if someone has now confirmed and they remove them, they say that they have been paid.
Yeah.
And indeed, this person, Botswana, actually, she's one of person who Botswana. Majority of the people, they have used them as an agent, like shipping agent.
What's her name again?
I think Stacy Wang or something I forgot the name, but something Wong, whatever.
Yeah.
She has had that business dealing with many Botswana. So of course, some of them said, hey, this person Rudy, this person did not deliver on time and anything. But a brand like his, you'd expect it to deal with suppliers very well because now I hold him at a higher standard. Since May, send proof. Like you have to assure us that you are a man of integrity. Businesses in Botswana, even the supplier, banana business person ba supply ne ba lela ba sa duela on time. So a business happened na him I held him at a higher standard because he was flirting the previous administration. Whereby una dira la tautona ma CCD thako di jacket anna le bone every event that's a BDP actually. He was the one on about designer la sengwe di golf
these are facts.
Yes. He was the one elong gore ka golf ya bone bona di t-shirt tse dingwe tsa dom koraga ne dinale dom koraga le his BDP. Yeah, he's a businessman but he had politically aligned himself with BDP. He never did anything for Reboko. He never did anything for Resaleshando. He took on the initiative ya dom koraga. So he was one of the beneficiaries tsa puso e neng etswa yo ra dom koraga go re no gona di business mo Botswana tse no gona le di marketing agencies tse dingwe ne re hadita lady artist tse dingwe bo vine re ha re tara mo kopa re UDC e o perform hangwe o tabare happy for mo go dirading tsa BDP. That is why ara fat khane ba ne batho ba mo lepole ba re ha ba TV. Nna gona ga nkutsa botho. Even now I'm still saying, guys, much as other artists or creatives mo Botswana ba ne ba re ha ba mo dio tsa UDC, if we deny them more UDC events, at least the government side, let's not deny them. They have talent.
And that's livelihood as well.
Yes, let's not blacklist them because the Domokoraga, now for example, now Domokoraga had blacklisted me. Many people have been blacklisted by Domokoraga. From any other things, business-wise, any other things.
Are you serious?
They were targeted. Now Domokoraga even targeted me ka BURS. You Dumaboko was targeted by BURS.
Jesus
but business none of them had that problem with the BURS, and none of them were targeted by DIA as any other point. So now what I would hate, however, is that targeted to BURS kana ki DIS ki Motswana. Let him be held accountable in a professional way, not in a professional way. So
yeah, I saw your post, man, about the whole thing, BK Proctor and the Chinese lady.
Yeah, so now that I took the Chinese stand, that simple as that. Yes, I owe banks. Banks have what you call security, have insurance, have anything.
For sure.
Or any other business person, I have to pay them. That's a normal way of doing business. Now I hold him at the highest standards that I want him to succeed in life.
He has really done well for himself.
Yes, and we were shocked to see those controversies. But I'm happy that he has been able to rebound. But one of the things that he would need to detach himself, it's from politically affiliating himself. We have had All Gazi, or we still have it. We have Urban Soul. Those guys were not flirting more le mapolitiki thata kana le tomo koraga thata le rona gampe go le nna would be unhappy how some of the business that TKay align thata le UDC. No, they have to align themselves with the Botswana.
Can I tell you a little bit of a story about my podcast and the UDC during campaign season? Nick hit me up on do I even still have those messages? He hit me up and is like, my man, would love for you to help us with, a conversation with the president, Dumaboko. And I was like, hey, should I do it? Should I not? Because I didn't really want to affiliate with anybody at that time. You know what I mean? So I thought about it and I just ghosted, right? So now come 2020 election time, the UDC's in power. I look back, I was like,
you missed an opportunity.
I should have.
Yeah, you should have. I think one thing
but it was a tricky situation because
the problem is that Botswana, in area, that is where I can't fault you. In area, even if you invite Redumabok, or blacklist you.
That's what I was thinking.
Because in Botswana, it meant that the news, the funding came from the government side of things, the parastatals. In area, that is why Dumabok was most successful in South Africa, SA media houses, even advertising agency, Hela has spotlighted to Redumaboko. Lady Radio Hela, for example, so that's how the Dumaboko or the UDC was demonized and stigmatized. There were people who were supporting us. Some of them could not do so openly. Even journalists to write positive story about the UDC was a sin, was a crime against the state. You'd
really be victimized.
The previous administration was so drunk with power such that they took criticism to being demonized. And now I'm happy. One thing that I can tell is that Nick loved you. Nick loved the podcast.
I really appreciated it. The fact that he hit me up. I was like, wow.
No. The is so busy. But he wouldn't that petty thing. No. Lawyers always argue in court.
For sure.
Banally, emotional intelligence. What we lacked in the previous administration, yesterday, he met with the leader of opposition, Redumelan Saleshando. I'm not saying
beautiful meeting.
Beautiful meeting. I'm not saying that he's the Messiah. No. So he's a human being. He and he does everything, but hella gormento mo shao ke sare ke amuelela ga ke solohele wa blacklist up hana blacklist nga bo irile ke kwanta maloba because I was petitioning the minister I was against the government for that period of time. But he hasn't blacklisted me. If I, who is a beneficiary or who is a member of the ruling party, that stand, a radical stand, make us a blacklist. You can. One thing that I would want in the new Botswana, now that I dream of, is blacklist to simply because they have had a belief against us. No. We have to fairly compete. If you deserve something, you have to get it. If you don't have to.
I like that.
Political affiliation or political karaoke. No. It has to be. People have to be appointed on merits, skills. In anything hella business funded. Simply because those are sympathetic to the ruling party. No. We have to create a harmonized society. A society that does not empower somebody because affiliated to this. You did well by making sure that your podcast remain political neutral. Because
I was really scared.
Right now, don't be afraid to invite ministers. Don't be afraid to invite former ministers. Don't invite whatever. Like grow. You did well by trying to depoliticize your podcast. Or you know what? Hey, get politics for the time being.
So you should have seen me I think it was a week or two after the results came out. This is me on my WhatsApp like, hey, yo, Nick. What's up, brother?
But I don't think he would have. He's a leader.
No, of course.
He wouldn't have taken it that because they knew. I mean, there were people who were even funding the UDC. Some of them could not even send money by the Kabanka. I've heard like the previous government was so toxic. It was more like a cult.
You know what? We've run out of time. Definitely. Apparently we're at 2 hours. This is the first time we've done 2 hours, but clearly, I mean, it's you. I have a few trending stories that I need you to touch on, and then we just wrap it up quickly, all right? Because it's very important. The KFC thing. Or should we even call it the KFC thing?
KFC, Peter Yuri
drive-through situation that happened. Was it yesterday or today?
I think the couple of days ago, maybe 2 to 3 days ago.
So for people that don't know, Peter Yuri was at a drive-through KFC and he wanted some palage and morojo. And it wasn't available. And his problem was, in my understanding, that there was no advertisement on the boards of the food that is available or not, right? So there's a little bit of a divide when it comes to the social media commentary. People are saying, look, if it's not there, why don't you put it down on the advertising boards? Other people are saying it's the way you are speaking to this employee who pretty much, if we're to look into it, is not responsible for the things that are available or not. It's management, right? But you have had what you've had to say, so please.
Yeah, definitely. In any business, Botswana. Business dira the advert weekly or daily. They do not have that thing whereby every hour they update the menu. Literally, in every restaurant in Gaborone, you can go and see their menu today. You might be told this and that is not available right now. We are very sorry. In any part of the world, even in London, even in Washington, New York, it's normal to find something not there. If you are always going to a particular eatery and you find that what you like is not always there at this particular hour, see, guys, can I have a meeting with the management and then voice this out? You don't have to bleed on a lowly paid employee.
You are really not happy with that?
No, I wasn't, and I'm still not happy because that gentleman was the photographer to the former First Lady. He has traveled the world. Yes, Peter Yuri has had that interaction with the former government. So, not to me, he was simply abusing that lady. That lady was apologetic. Like right now, yesterday, I was driving from Kanye. DJ Bunny, they run a restaurant, Block 3. And then I found it.
Shout out DJ Bunny.
Yeah, we support him. I found that DJ Bunny the hedil. Like he did support. I was just disappointed. Hey, guys, menu alone. So that hey, you know what, like those struggles. They explain. One thing that I can tell you is that January, how about business? So business, what they do, they do what we call, we adopt every day, every week. They look at the pattern, what is in demand and not in demand. Hustle is in demand, let's not cook it for this night or cook it in the morning. The risk factor, those things they cannot explain. If you run a business, if that person is a businessman, they would know this. If they love polish and they love their sport, manager, you know what? You know, you guys are here, but can I get that every week? Why sank Ryan? Okay, fine. You can always call us if you want. Businesses are flexible in Botswana. Just a call or hey, you know what? I would love to order.
The poor girl started almost crying,
and everything, and he was verbally abusive. And not only that, Hana has a video I sent out to the management. He went on to humiliate it, post it on his TikTok, whereby abuse of influence mo Botswana. The influencer tsa Botswana di abuse the influence tsa bona simply because ke Setlhomo ke stisi ke go tsa a less powerful person ke mo humiliator. Pick your peers, bro. Pick me, pick Scar, pick whosoever. So ona tsa motho eleng gore ga ana go ipuelela ga bedi. What that's to me say no. There is a complaint and then there is now abuse. So what he was doing, he was abusing the poor employee, and now called him to order. No. You cannot do that. There has to be a limit. Remember also some of these KFC employees are lowly paid. They have the rights. Workers' rights in Botswana exist. We have to be sympathetic, understanding. And if you have something, now I've called out many businesses in Botswana.
Yeah.
Park 27, whosoever. Actually, most franchise restaurants in Botswana, they have poor customer service. Me I get employee hela be ke mo pharega kana ke mo recorder le ntswela bone be ke mo humiliator. I would rather target the business. KFC has a poor business employees. It's not be ke now isolating a poor employee gore ga make decision. No.
Yeah, she doesn't make decisions, right?
What he was complaining about, it's systemic. It's about the institution, not the individual. So I tshwana gore anong e be le gore o targeta motho a lo one helana. No. Ga tse gore go apewang gapeng ebile ga se chef. So he failed to address his thing. You can be frustrated. I came all the way to support you, and every time I come here, but there are ways in which you can voice it out, or at least don't single out the one person.
It broke my heart.
Lynn, I felt for that lady.
While I understand where he might be coming from, I felt for the lady, which goes to show that it might have been the approach, the way he did
the approach
it,
was quite wrong. I hope, Lene, but the problem is had the shade remarks on Instagram and everywhere. He seems to have not learned the feedback.
Even on TikTok, I see him still posting.
No, read the room, bro. You are agitated against this particular this system, not an employee. When outside you order, what is there? Apologize about this and that. So try to make the management aware. I'm not happy about this thing. It's a management issue. It has not to go there. Because she's
the decision maker.
She's not decision maker. Even if that employee and I saw at that time still why then you lead on them? Why not the management?
Jesus, man, there's so much to talk about. We'll try to catch you before you go back to Dublin.
Definitely.
Ladies and gentlemen, Setlhomo Raymond Tshwanelang. Man, thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate you. It's a lot that I put down here for us to talk about, but
that needs to be edited and all that stuff.
Here and there,
many will have to be cut off.
I hope you're gonna be back soon.
Definitely.
But thank you so much for stopping by, and keep well until the next time we meet.
Yeah, next time I think you won't be interviewing Setlhomo. You might be interviewing a leader of something.
I think I need that.
Definitely. Yeah. So next time when you invite me, definitely I'll be coming out to represent my office. I got you. I got you. You can always come back. The doors are open for you.
Yeah. But that is a wrap for the first episode, 2025, January 18th. And we made sure that it's a banger. It's definitely a juicy one. And drop your comments, whatever you want to say, and let us hear exactly what we can do, what we can tweak, and what you're happy about, what you might not be happy about. We receive it all. We're open to all of that. Until the next time we get juicy, stay juicy. Peace.